We all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thanks.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been met by transmitting the notice of the regular meeting to the Commissioner's official newspaper on February 4th, 2021, posting the notice where required, and filing a copy of the notice with the Commission clerk. The Deloitte Commission meeting will be audio and videotaped and will be shown on APTV, Optimum 77, and throughout most of Monmouth County on FiOS 30. Allenhurst,
Here.
Asbury Park,
Yes,
Deal? Interlaken? And so
Here, sorry.
that's okay. Buck Arbor,
here,
Neptune, Ocean, Don? Where's Don? Okay.
Here.
Okay. Resolution 2125, a resolution to approve the minutes of the reorg meeting, January 21st, 2021. Someone please offer.
So
I-
moved.
Offered.
I have a correction.
Okay.
Jesse, I think you submitted under the new business where it describes my reading of the prepared
Mhm.
statement. I submitted the full text. To
Okay, and I'm going to put an asterisk by the minutes, and I'm going to put the full text of Ms. Tower's statement will be attached to the minutes as attachment A and will become a permanent part of the minutes.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome.
There's one sentence, and I know it's difficult to summarize. It was a 4-minute statement, but
Mhm.
instead, you had said Ms. Tor read a prepared statement about how she feels the DLC chair unfairly treats her. I did not use those words unfairly treats in any part of my statement. Could you please change it to read, she read a prepared statement explaining her reasons for abstaining on her vote for the chair.
Okay. Ready, prepared.
Do we have a call on that? How do we do this? Change the minutes, because I'm okay with the way it reads personally. I think it's appropriate, to be honest with you.
Well,
We haven't approved the minutes yet. But we're
I know
gonna-
that.
Yeah.
well, what's going to happen is you're going to entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
And then we're going to attach Jeannie's statement at the end.
So if there's a motion and second, then you can have discussion and then you have a vote.
Is there a second for the amendment?
I second. All
Okay,
right.
who's offering the minutes?
Jeannie's
I thought it was
offering.
Jeannie. Jeannie's offering the motion to amend,
Okay,
right, Jeannie?
Yes, that's correct.
okay. And Bruce is second.
I'm
Oh.
seconding the motion.
Okay,
And
And now we talk about the motion.
I
okay.
also offered a change to the, Jesse, you got that, right? Explaining her reasons for abstaining on her vote for the chair.
Great. Ready,
And
prepared.
I'll offer that. I don't know if that's a second amendment or this part of the same amendment.
It can be part of the same amendment.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Someone please offer.
I'll
Just
offer.
what? You thought it was just offered?
I thought it was just offered.
Yeah,
Right.
second. All right. So my position is I agree with what Jeannie said. I think she was just explaining her position. I don't think we need to put anything that's vituperative or pernicious about Don in there. I should just read that Jeannie was explaining her position as to why she was requesting whatever it is she was requesting at the time. That's much more neutral, I think, and much better.
Okay, and do you still want the, your text attached?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely do.
okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. A resolution to approve the treasurer's report. Bruce, do you have the,
I have it. I do have it.
COIFIC?
Yes, I'm looking right at it now. Can you hear me? Or am I muted? I don't want to be muted.
We can hear
Total on
you.
deposit, from the previous month is $124,691.82. We had total receipts of $4,580.87. There were various other disbursements, some of which were from grants, but the total on deposit after all is said and done was $121,935.67.
Someone please offer to pay the bills for this month.
I'll
So moved.
offer.
Second,
I'll second.
Allenhurst,
Aye.
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Lock Arbor,
Yes.
Neptune, Ocean. I forgot Neptune.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, take it away, Don.
Okay. Flume Electrification. Ken, can I share the screen, please?
One sec.
Okay. So Peter's guy's been hard at work, and there's been a little pressure, especially when I had to go out in this at Christmas time to open the flume up in the snowstorm. So, the teeming rainstorm at 2:00 in the morning. So, those days are now over. I want to show the process, and we can get to it. Hold on one second. So you are now looking.
I hope it opens faster than this, Tom.
Oh, stop it. Now, as you can see, you're looking at a computer screen that's in the flume house. This is the one actuator. This is, I believe, the south actuator. Hold on one second. I'll make sure I got this right. This is the south actuator.
That's the South
So-
Africa.
That's right. And if I got this right, remote control operation, we click. And what you're going to see is the actual screen that I'll be looking at when I'm down there, the little disc. And what's interesting is you would think the switch would be in the remote operation mode, but it's not. It's in the same operation mode as if you walk in the building and push the button. So all you have to do is do that. And now it's opening up. The lake is draining. And I'm going to show you a picture of the inside of the flume house.
Is it actually draining?
It's actually draining right now.
Stop.
Jeannie, we just had a snowstorm. We'll be fine. It'll only talking to take a couple minutes here. Okay. That's hard to see. I probably should have did a north one, but the gate, you would see the actual chamber, if you could see this. This is inside the gatehouse with the camera. And I can actually see inside, and we're going to have another camera that shoots when the weather gets better, that shoots down into the gate, and you can actually see the gates rising. So I'm going to stop this and close it. So, but that's the remote operation. I have it scribbled down a piece of paper. We're going to have a complete SOP, standard operating procedures, of the cameras and the gates made up. That's one of the final pieces of the process that Peter's team's going to put together. So hopefully I have that in a month, and we're ready to go for remote operation. And it's really only for, I'd rather go down here, and I'm getting some other folks to help out. And the remote operations, it's quite nice. And Peter, is this one of the fanciest ones on the Jersey Shore or what?
This is great. This is absolutely wonderful. I know there's another, it's a ocean seawall that's operated through telemetry. I don't know if they can do it remotely though. I think they have much more substantive gatehouse than we do. Our gatehouse really is just to house the equipment, and it's always been very difficult to man the gatehouse and to operate it. And when your arms are swinging, when you used to move the wheel, you always had that threat of breaking your elbow against the wall. So this is just a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Don can raise and lower it now based on our advice and an impending storm event or high tide event whenever we need it. We just have a couple things remaining now. This is the key piece of our flume and gatehouse operation. The tide gate is installed, as you all know. The punch list includes the tide gauges that we've been talking about and the weather station installation and a couple other things that the contractor is going to provide to us. So we're coming down the end now to close it out and hopefully submit our request for reimbursement.
Right, and there's, yeah, we have 3 gauges going up, rain gauges, or height gauges on the lake, on Sunset down by the fish ladder down by Wickapecca, and one right at the Flume. So we'll have those installed soon. And Peter, I just thought of something. When we do the markings of the bridges, we have to mark additionally a spot on the Allenhurst Bridge for it could probably be some inches above the top of dam for the study that these guys are doing. Because when they do the Allenhurst, we'll talk about the Allenhurst Bridge a little later, but we'll have to get that marked somehow on that bridge so they have the correct height. So when they do their depth, the depth of that bridge, they get the correct depth. You know, if they had a low tide or a high tide, it would make a big difference down there. So
Okay.
all right, that's it. Any questions on the Flume?
Well,
Okay.
you know, I can talk with you after about this, Don, but at some point we want to set some dates up for 1 or 2 people to tour.
Thank you, Jeannie. Next month, I was thinking it'd probably be maybe before the meeting, maybe between 5 and 6, we can, schedule some times for, you could bring your mayor down. Each of the commissioners could bring their mayor or whoever's interested from their council and bring them down and get a tour of the Flume. So I'm thinking before the next meeting, we can do that. So we'll revisit that.
I want to just suggest that make them very small groups. I mean, 1 or 2 people because of COVID. You don't want to have a bunch of people in that little.
That's exactly right. Yeah. We'll just open the door and they can walk in and get a look at it. Okay, that's it. Let's go to the next topic. 319 grant update, Pete.
Sure. I'll, for the purposes of the commission members, I'll just start with a bid award. As you know, the MTD manufactured treatment device project was bid and awarded to Precise Construction, which we did at a previous meeting. Cost was just under $300,000. We held the pre-construction meeting. Contractors on board. Asbury Park High School's on board. The utility companies we have checked with, they're on board. Asbury Park was wonderful in their participation and working with us for staging of equipment, and we're working and coordinating project, traffic safety issues and detour plans and things like that with them. Shop drawings have been approved for this treatment devices, and what we're waiting for now is the material order, which has been placed by the contractor with Contech, the manufacturer. And as soon as that material is scheduled for delivery, the contractor will give us a construction schedule. We spoke with him as recently as today, and we're kind of pressing him for that. We really want to know, a week or 2 weeks in advance if we can, so we can coordinate all the parts that we have to get everybody on board. So physically what happens is Don, I recall you were at the pre-con meeting. I thought he was talking about at each location, perhaps a little more on Memorial Drive. So maybe it's a 4-week project, a week at each location on Sunset, northwest corner, southeast corner, and then Memorial Drive, perhaps 2 weeks because of the detour plan, but that could go a little faster depending on utility locations. So we're really looking forward to that and coordinating with the Asbury Park High School group of young engineers who want to come out if they allow them to and be present during the construction phase.
Hey, Peter, we were talking about hard hats for the kids, or is it possible we can incorporate that into the project, the 319 grant, so we can get some hats for them?
We'll work with you on that and work with Jack on that.
Okay. And I would also like the commissioners to come out, we'll have to keep them up to speed on the dates we're going to be doing all this, but yeah, if you guys have a chance to get out there, you really should get it. It's going to be really exciting stuff. We're digging a hole.
And as soon as you have those dates, if you would send those out, Peter, and I'd really like to get over there to do some photographs for our website.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I know Kevin, and Kevin has his Super 8 projector all set up already because he's amazing.
Yeah.
We had our pre-con meeting. We talked about things. And I said, Kevin, you want me to get you any information to the kid? He said, no, just wait. Let me see what I can do. And he literally went on the website for I gave him some information. He went on the manufacturer's website. He searched the DEP regulations, and he had a complete presentation for his kids to give them a breakdown of exactly what it is that we were doing and what it is that they were going to see both before and after construction. So,
Peter,
wonderful working with him.
Did you see the article last week from the school district? I think it was the school district that published it about the project, and it was wonderful. I don't know if you guys read it, but it was last Thursday's coaster, almost a full page, I think, on this whole project and the kids involved with the engineering program. So it's going to be great for the kids and great for the Deal Lake Commission in Asbury Park. So very excited to be involved with this for sure.
Hey, Don?
Yeah.
I think the coaster really wants to follow the progress on this as well. I think they're
Right.
very
Yep.
well engaged. Yeah.
Yeah, Don Stein's definitely on board with it. And the only thing is about the pictures, we got to be careful about the kids in the photos. I think they have to take them, I believe.
They're getting a
Just sign a
release.
release.
Yeah, Kevin said that he was working on that with the parents to get those releases. It's not as big a deal as it used to be since so many people are, Facebook. It used to be a much bigger deal. So, but they're going to get them anyway.
Yeah. But thanks, Pete. That was great.
Thank you.
And, you'll see that the treatment devices should be delivered in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be the first sign that we got something going on.
Where are they going to be? I mean, they're big, right? So
They're going
where?
to be sitting right in this. One's going to be sitting on Fifth and Grand. I'm sorry,
No,
Fifth
I
and
mean,
Memorial.
Yeah.
Fifth and Memorial, and one is going to be sitting in Sunset Park, and another one in Sunset Park.
So they're going to
the
be
police.
delivered to those areas? Is that where they're going to sit? And
The town is dictating, telling us where to put them. We already know one location, and they're going to mark the other locations on Grand Avenue. So Peter's guys have that totally under control.
right. No, I just meant when they arrive, since you're not going to put them in right away, but when they arrive, are they stored somewhere or?
No, they're going to be dropped, and probably within days they'll be installed.
Oh, okay.
That's the coordination they're working out right now.
Okay. This was,
Also, Peter, you're done with the MTDs, right?
Yes.
Okay. Jack's also working with the school district, I believe, on having the kids help out with the floating wetlands, which is really exciting.
Yeah, so I reached out to Mr. Gould, Kevin, and I'm going to try and get in touch with him. Actually, to Matt Mariano was talking to them about the presentation that Peter was discussing with them and with the project, and then having some sort of educational component. So talking to the class themselves, and I think I may end up doing that. And then I'll talk with, again, I'm in touch with the Board of Department, Education, to get the students involved with the floating wetland islands as well. Peter shared some concept drawings for the Wesley Lake BMPs, and that's kind of moving along pretty nicely. I have a meeting next week with AP, DPW, and the town manager as well to work out renovations in that rain garden, in the Asbury Park rain garden. And Midwest Floating Wetland Islands is working out. They contacted me recently trying to figure out who's getting what islands. And so we talked just about who the recipient is, because one was Wesley Lake, one was Deal Lake Commission. They were trying to figure out how it gets billed. And so it's all the same. It's all the same grant. So, but we're working up to getting the delivery logistics figured out as well. So
Okay.
That's moving right along. Everything's kind of it's
Great.
progressing nicely.
And you're also working with Peter's team on the rain gardens in Ocean Grove, correct? I think Peter.
Yeah.
Does Peter have that one or?
Yeah, I do, Don. As a matter of fact, earlier this week, the Wesley Lake Commission asked me to attend their Zoom video conference meeting to talk to them about the new stormwater management regulations, which I did. And of course, as long as I'm there, Gail, wonderful Gail, the chairwoman, never hesitates to ask me some additional questions, one of which had to do with the rain gardens and another which had to do with actual dredging of a section of the lake. So with regard to the rain gardens, we have, as Jack said, developed 2 concept plans, preliminary design, profiling, location of piping, and the location of the proposed rain gardens. So literally what happens is, from an existing pipe that runs from Asbury Avenue in Ocean Grove under the ground and discharges into Wesley Lake, we would break that pipe under a section of grass area and allow the water to discharge into a newly created basin, which will be a rain garden, and then flow into an outlet structure, which ties back into the other end of the pipe, which discharges back into the lake. So you're literally taking a section of pipe out and replacing it with a rain garden. 2 locations. I met with a representative of, I'm going to call it Buildings and Grounds of Ocean Grove, and it was very well received. And I'm scheduling an appointment with their administrator, and just to get their go ahead on the project. It will include some other positive benefits in the area, which include handicap access and sidewalk improvements due to the nature of the excavation required for the installation of these 2 rain gardens. So that should be very well received, since they have a difficult time processing those types of projects in Ocean Grove. So I'll report back as we move forward, but thanks to Jack and the crew, thanks to Steve. It really is moving forward very nicely. So hopefully, I think we have enough money to finish everything right now. It just looks like it's fitting very well within our budget. So I'll let you know as things progress.
Do you think we should get, you think you'll be able to get an RFP ready for next meeting to vote on?
Dependent on our turnaround with Ocean Grove, probably. If we have to put a complete bid package together, which is possible, because of the cost of the project, we'll discuss that.
Okay.
We'll give you a project timeline at the next meeting at least.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any questions on the 319? Okay. We're going to move on to the next 319. NJIT, I think I did get some notification. I think they got the full award from the state, so they're moving off on that. No details until the lake, unfreezes. I guess most of it's on, 3/4 of it's unfrozen, but they'll be coming to us soon for implementing the blue-green algae program. The Ability Crest, you guys all got that letter. I sent it out to the Ability Crest. Jesse, did we get the return receipt on that yet?
No.
Okay. So that was sent out last week. The shoreline protection, we're going to hold off on that. Haven't had time to follow up with Jeannie on that. So we're going to talk about that next meeting. The weed treatment, here we go. So Steve, it's all yours. Let me start with, we had 2 bids in. They were sufficient. Is that correct, Jesse? Both were compliant? Okay.
Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, so we received 2 bids. One came in from Princeton Hydro and the other one came in from Solitude Lake Management. As Don and Jesse pointed out, both of them were complete and consistent with the requirements of the RFP. If you want to cut to the chase, basically the cheaper of the 2 by far on paper appears to be Solitude. However, a couple of points that need to be emphasized. Number one, their program is for only 1 treatment as opposed to 2 treatments, which was proposed by Princeton Hydro. Additionally, the Princeton Hydro proposal includes a detailed breakdown of some of the additional requirements of doing a treatment. That is the newspaper advertisements, the post-treatment signage that needs to go up around the areas that have been treated, reporting. None of that is specified in the Solitude proposal. Now, we can assume that it's included in there. We didn't ask for it to be broken out, but and why I'm saying we can assume that was included in there is that they did all of that last year as part of the work that was done for the commission last year.
That was required by law, correct? All those items?
Yeah, that's all required by law, but like I said, in those additional items account for about $4,000 of Princeton Hydro's proposal. So, I mean, that's the only thing that's had me questioning things, because that's a significant chunk of change, and almost totals the the amount that's been proposed by Solitude. So I think we need to get that clarified, that their proposal does include all of that. The big difference is that, one company is proposing one herbicide and the other one is proposing a different herbicide. Not to get to like all of the details, but I guess we have to. So essentially, Solitude is proposing the use of Procelicor, which is a systemic herbicide, which means it needs to be absorbed by the plant, and then it translocates through the plant and then causes the plant to basically die by altering its ability to photosynthesize. The chemical that's being proposed by Princeton Hydro is Clipper, which is a fast-acting contact herbicide. So essentially that works by basically just causing the cell walls of the plants to decay rapidly, break down rapidly. They're both extremely effective. They're both licensed for use in New Jersey. If you look at the label for both products, they're equally effective for the targeted plants, parrot feather, coontail, various milfoils. So, either chemical will work. The other big difference, I think, between, I'm trying to evaluate, why there's such a significant difference in cost, is that, Princeton Hydro is sending out 2 personnel, 2 staff to do our retreatment. I mean, from my perspective, that's a safety issue. I can relate to that. But, like Don and I discussed, that's on the applicator. If they want to send out 1 person and take the risk, that's on them. But that does account for some of the additional cost. And from what I can see in looking at the I know the cost of these chemicals. I mean, anybody can look them up. I just have a feeling that the Solitude proposal, they're proposing probably what is on the lower end of the dose spectrum for Procelicor, and then with Clipper, Princeton Hydro is actually proposing the use of a dose rate that's on the higher end of the spectrum. So those are the major differences. I know I have a past association with Princeton Hydro, but if you look at it from cost alone, you're going to want to go with Solitude. I mean, even if you factor in that they may have to come back and do a second treatment, their price is still going to be roughly anywhere between 30 to maybe 40% less. If you, and if you were to ask me, I would probably be siding with Princeton Hydro, and it's not because of my past relationship with them. It's just it seemed to be a more detailed and thought out proposal, and that's just my opinion. But cost alone, you have to go with Solitude. And in terms, if you ask me, are either one of these chemicals going to be effective? They're both equally theoretically effective for the control of the plants. They both have the same use limitation, meaning that they can't you can't irrigate for 3 days after a treatment. And I should point out that's on the lower end of the Procelicor dose rate. As the dose rate ramps up, the irrigation period, the time that you can't irrigate goes up as well. It can reach as much as 30 days on a really high dose. So I guess bottom line, what I'm saying is that if you're going to go with Solitude because of their price, I think there's some additional questions we have to ask them before contracting with them. To me, there's some unknowns there that.
So Steve,
really want
do
to
a conditional
satisfied.
acceptance of Solitude with the conditions that they are treating. They're obviously treating once. They're treating with the correct amount of material, and they guarantee their work. I mean, that's kind of the key. I mean, last year Solitude did it, and they did. We thought they did a fine job. The only problem was the Clipper material didn't work. So it looks like they switched materials maybe to do a better job. I don't know. We didn't get that word from them. They didn't say that.
1 person, right? Not 2. Also, last.
It doesn't matter. The machine, it just sprays a machine. I mean, it's just, that really doesn't matter.
Well, do we have prices for both yet?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was all submitted. Everything had to be submitted yesterday. So they, everything came in on time. It was submitted.
What are the two prices? Do you have those on hand?
Don sent it out. to
I'll send it
everybody.
out to you.
Okay.
Let me read it to you. The Princeton Hydro price to do Terrace Pond is basically $13,000, $12,975. To do Hollow Brook is $5,125. Just to do Hollow Brook by Princeton Hydro is the cost of the Solitude. Solitude's total cost is $4,645 for both areas. So it's
remember, that's only one
True.
treatment. So you
That's
have
correct.
to
That's
multiply
correct.
that times 2.
correct, but that's a $13,000 difference.
No, it is.
It's a big difference.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a
I
big
know,
chunk
but
of our budget.
and believe me, I'm not just advocating for Princeton Hydro. Okay. You have to keep in mind that we need to get clarification about the advertising, the posting, the reporting, all of that.
Or
We need to get
we wait
clarification on that.
Or we get clarification, we vote on it next meeting. Or would we have enough time to vote on it next meeting if we get the clarification, Stevie?
Yeah, I mean, right now, the way the DEP permitting process is set up, it only takes them a couple of weeks. And if, our target date is between May 15th and June 15th. So, that would definitely provide ample time.
So we want,
How will you verify those things that you have concerns about?
Well, I already sent them an email asking if they could clarify it before this evening's meeting, and I never got a response from them.
Okay.
I think because of the cost differential, I think we have to wait, guys. I mean, that's,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
so
Yeah,
we're gonna
there's no
we'll
question.
table this to the next meeting and have Steve get us the clarification.
Yes, I would move to do that, to table it until we have more information.
I don't think we need a motion on it, do we have?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to table.
So Don, just the 3 things that I asked them to clarify.
Sure, go ahead.
A, the dose rate. And, with that dose rate, does that change the irrigation
Correct.
restriction? Okay, that was number 1. Number 2, confirmation that their price includes all of the necessary legal advertising, post-treatment posting, and reporting.
Mhm.
And then number 3 was if they have to come back to do another treatment, how much will that cost?
Got it. Okay.
Steve,
Thanks.
Steve, is that that's a pretty substantial difference. Have you checked with Princeton to see if they had a mistake in their quote?
Yeah, I checked with them, and basically their response to me was that they expected Solitude to come. I didn't tell them how much Solitude had bid, but I did ask them if they were certain in the numbers, and if that reflected soup to nuts, and and I didn't ask them to modify it or anything, and they said yeah, they had it reflected a 2-person crew, an 8-hour day on each water body, and that would include mobilization, demobilization time, and all the reporting, et cetera, et cetera. So I was pretty satisfied that they didn't make a mistake in their calculations. That's a good point though, Eric, but I did go over that with them. Again, I didn't share with them the what Solitude had bid. I guess once it becomes public, they'll know, but at this point, no.
But if you look at the 2 proposals, the Princeton Hydro proposal is so much more professionally done. Now, I don't know if that's just good advertising on their part, or whether or not it reflects more professionalism in what they do. But certainly, if you look at the 2 and you didn't know the prices, you'd pick Princeton Hydro. I'm just not. I mean, we're going to have to defer to Steve as to determine whether they're the 2 are technically in line once you talk to them.
I mean, if the dose rate works out and it's the correct dose rate and not just the lowest dose rate. They confirm that it includes all of the other, things that we did ask for. I mean, we identify all of that in the proposal, the advertising, posting, et cetera, in the reporting. Then they tell me how much it's going to cost if they have to come back and retreat. Then, yeah, I mean, the price is too significantly different, even to look just at the quality of the proposals. But
And you
yeah.
have said, I believe, Steve, that you think that both Procellicor and Clipper are equally effective.
Yeah, they work differently, but they're definitely both effective, and yeah, so I don't have any doubt about the theoretical effectiveness of either one of those herbicides. They're both labeled and utilized to, treat the targeted, the plants that we're targeting. So that I'm not concerned about, as long as the dose rate is correct.
I just looked at last year's numbers and I found they were at Solitude was 3468 for the treatment last year for the Clipper. And that was two. I think that was 2 treatments. If I'm reading that right. So yeah, I mean, let's ask them. I mean, maybe they misbid it. They could have.
Yeah. I mean, I was asked to check with all of the potential bidders a couple of days ago just to confirm that somebody bidding, and Solitude, multiple people in different offices working on it, so it would come together, but it would be sent.
Right now about the Coke plant?
Sure, the land. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, obviously we'd love it that holding all the stormwater. We'd like them to do a little bit more with stormwater, and there's concerns about the looks of it, and as an entry into Asbury Park and Ocean Township for that matter. So
what's the concern with the looks? I mean,
well, I think the buildings their back side is to Asbury Avenue, which is the entryway to Asbury Park. So any way we can make that attractive would be wonderful, right? So whether it's bushes, trees. I mean, I like to see, be honest, those beautiful oak trees. I hate to see them go. If we can save them, that'd be great. And as much vegetation as we can, and as much stormwater, and there's wetlands right there that have to be protected. So
yeah, that's something that Peter and I have been discussing. Any encroachment into wetlands, wetland buffers, floodplain, and obviously the stormwater part.
Yeah, we have a great opportunity. Great opportunity to catch a lot of stormwater for sure.
Yeah. Well, with the existing Coke plant that was there, it was built, I don't know, long time ago. Was there issues with stormwater management with the Deal Lake?
Yeah.
I mean, I never heard of any.
There was none. There was basically
there was no stormwater management.
Right.
It just ran off into the lake. No new rules are different.
I mean, what to the point where there was an issue? Or we don't know.
I mean, the problem with Deal Lake is that there's so much, historic development that does not have any stormwater management, and that's what really creates a lot of the problems that we see in the streams with all the erosion and sedimentation, and then that all of that ends up coming into the lake. So it's not just pollutants, but it's the quantity and the rate of flow that leaves those sites that causes destruction to the streams. So yeah, it's sort of like death by 1,000 cuts, and this creates an opportunity to maybe make up for some past sins, not only on that site, but if they can do a little bit of regional management. I don't know. I mean, that might be out of the question, but something to maybe alleviate some of the problems in that section of the lake.
Yeah, around the water, the roads have a lot of water too, right?
I just need to interject.
Sure.
We lost signal right about at the very beginning of the Coca-Cola plant talk, and so that won't be in. Could we start just?
We'll just summarize very quickly. We're looking into the Coca-Cola plant. The Deal Lake Commission is going to be heavily involved, and more to come at a later date. That's it. Okay, let's keep rolling on this, guys. Carp and goose remediation, it's going to be discussed next meeting. Didn't have time. I had a lot of things on my mind, so that wasn't taken care of. the ship and sniff program. I do have a proposal. We had some problem, believe it or not, the ice actually brought up some issues around my section of the lake. Areas that are normally extremely frozen were not. I called Clean Ocean Action that we had a Zoom meeting and shared the pictures, and they're going to do testing at 3 different locations, Iron Creek section, which is South Edgemere and Corley's Avenue. They're proposing 4 samples. This is in addition. I guess we already approved technically part of this, but this is the actual cost, $75 per test. They're going to run 4 tests for a total of not to exceed $300. So I'd like to put that motion on the table for Clean Ocean Action to conduct the testing of the water samples, basically for sewage leaks.
I'll offer.
Okay,
Second? Second?
Okay. Me, second.
Okay. I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Allenhurst,
Yes.
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Deal. I thought I saw him. Guess not. Interlaken,
Yes.
Lock Arbor,
Yes.
Neptune,
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Seaview Mall, we're going to hold that to next month. Restoration of the 4 lake ponds, the Lollipop Pond, Hollow Brook, and Terrace Pond, and also the Fireman's Pond. And that's all going to be lumped together. I like to look. Did I lose you guys? Hold on. I'm sorry. There you go. We're going to talk about that next month. We already have a proposal. Marty Martino has the Fireman's Memorial, which is excellent. First Responders Park, I'm sorry. I'm still very supportive of that. And there was a couple other proposals that we got in the mail. So Steve's going over those, and hopefully I'll have them for the next meeting. And I'll get you copies of those when Steve gets done with his review. Water testing, Monmouth University. I think we had some new insight. Jeannie, you have anything on that?
Well, we have, like I say, every month, every time we send out an email to e-blast, we ask for citizen scientists. So we have 2 people that have expressed an interest, and one is, I've already connected them with Monmouth University. So
yeah,
we
the
should
gentleman that yanked the boat out, the paddle boat out, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff was Gold. Asked to be involved, so that's great. He's right on the lake.
So I think we have now 13 testers. I'll double check, but I think we have 13 testers on the lake right now.
And by the way, going back to real quick to the ship and sniff program, those locations are hot spots we had before, so they're consistent with what they had seen. So I'm thinking we got some problems back there. Balloons, the balloon bill, Eric Hoteling. I think we voted on this last meeting, and we're very supportive. We put it on the website, Twitter, I think, and Facebook, and I shared it on my Facebook.
Ours too. It's the head of ours.
Yeah. Now, Jeannie, or I'm sorry, Jesse, do we have a motion or resolution?
I did up a resolution from the last one that we can send, if you'd like me to send it to.
Do you need a formal resolution, Eric, or just that we support?
No, it's a letter of support.
Just a letter of support would be good.
Okay, we'll get that off next week because we already voted.
How's it going, Eric? You said that
It's going good, but we're just trying to, that came back from our OLS, and just, we're tweaking the words on there just right, because the last time when we put it out there, it got beat up really bad, and people not understanding what the intent is, and kind of knocking the intent, and talking about something very frivolous, which you could look at it that way, but in reality of what happens, it's not.
Right.
So the point that has to be the major point of what the damage it does. And like I think I had said, that if you want to recognize your uncle or your grandfather or somebody, plant a tree. I mean, I think it's very simple.
Right.
But it's going to be interesting. But the trick is to get it through the finish line. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, Eric, we sent that up to the other lakes, Greenwood Lake and Lake Epoxy.
Oh, good.
And
good.
I asked them to get their congressmen and senators involved. So I don't know if you got any contact with them, but
Very good. Thank
I
you.
didn't have the congressmen or senators, but they're good people. I'm sure they're going to hook you up with
Yeah.
the right folk on that. Okay,
Well, thank you. Yep.
no problem, no problem. Good luck with that.
Put it
Okay.
up.
Oh, we could share that too, the Wesley Lake and Sunset Lake commissions. I'm sure they would,
Yeah.
yeah. And Deal Lake Watershed Alliance, we'll share that with them.
Okay.
Sure, I would assume they have that already, but I could say, Clean Ocean Action has it right now.
Yes, it's right here.
Monthly brochure. Okay,
If you want more information on that too, the New Jersey Association of Environmental Commissions, ANJEC, I'm on their board of directors, and they've been promoting that with all the local environmental commissions throughout the state. So they actually have materials that you can go to their website or get in contact with them, and they'll provide you with press releases and information like that if you need
Oh,
something.
nice. Very good.
Yeah.
that's another thing for all the commissioners. Maybe we can, if you have environmental commissions, I know some of you guys don't, but I have Ocean. I'll send it over to Ocean and see if they can support it, Eric, okay? And
Yeah.
Neptune might do the same thing. Did Eric pass out? What happened? What happened?
Next.
All right. Any other old business I'm missing? Okay.
I just wanted can I just say something? We already passed something in Lock Arbor that you cannot release the balloons. We did that a while ago because it is, and I think this is wonderful. I am so behind it.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, a lot of towns have taken the lead on this, so it only makes sense that the state steps up.
I
Okay,
wanted to thank you personally for doing this because I live right by the entrance to the beach in Lock Arbor, and I can't tell you how many I see almost every
A
day.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margot and
And
I
I
are picking them up.
I clean them up. I go and I clean them up. Thank you.
New
Thank you.
business. Our good friend, Dr. Dorfman, who's in his 80s, lives over in Colonial Terrace. He's having some problems with drainage. We hooked him up with Joe Attore and Greg Blash, and they're going to try to work with him on fixing the problem. The water coming from Hollow Brook washes right into his backyard, and it's right down the street from Brian Mullins. And I think we got some traction. I think that's going to be worked out well, and I'm happy about that. We also have a letter that I got last week from a lady, Pat Hartman from Interlaken. I'm going to give this copy to Carol, but she's right on the corner on Wickapeka and Grassmere, and she's the first house in Interlaken when you come over that bridge, and she shares the lot with Ocean Township. And she's got trees falling from Ocean Township. So Carol and I are going to have to work together on this one and try to solve it. But, it's a mess in her backyard, and it's over the stream, which is kind of township and Interlaken property. So I'm not sure exactly who manages that. I don't know if Peter has any insight on that.
All right, I'll reach out for him.
Yeah. So, but that's a second letter from her. We're going to address that. Corley's Avenue Bridge Study. I attended a meeting on behalf of the commission and myself because I go across the bridge every day. It's basically a 6-year project, and they're going to be basically redoing the bridge, and they're going to look at. They had a great meeting. It was a lot of input from folks. It was about an hour and a half or so long. A lot of citizens, a lot of safety issues across. Bruce probably knows that bridge better than anybody, but it's very
Gary
dangerous.
underneath.
Very, very dangerous bridge. So it's a long-term thing, and we'll see what happens. One concept is they want to have continuous walk across as they repair the bridge or replace it, and maybe they put some kind of permanent walking section and bike section in before they build the bridge. But that's just a thought. You'll be hearing more about that in the coming months in the paper.
Just back up to number 1, since you were speaking about the area where Brian lives. I had met with Dennis Walsh, the engineer from Monmouth County. He came over and
Right.
we went over that area where there are just those open pits where the garbage just goes right down.
Yep.
And they are definitely going to be fixing that. And as well, as soon as the snow stops, is what he said recently, they'll get a couple of other people over there to set up a real
That's the open drain. They have the compliant drains, then they have the old Open
Yeah,
drains.
they put in compliant drains right next to the old drains and didn't close up some of the old drains. But there's also a place where there's a lot of runoff because it's the concrete has broken away, and they can, that's part of what the county will do too. They can fix that section, the, what is it called? Concrete.
Curbing?
Curbing, thank you, that tough word. Yeah, curbing has broken in pieces, and it's just running off and eroding that area. So they're going to fix that too. So they'll come up with a plan, and once they have it together, I'll bring it to the
Okay.
commission and show
Very
you.
good, Jeannie. Thank you. Thank you on that. That was good. Winter, spring cleanup. I would assume end of March, we're thinking to do something. So it's probably a great time to think about it.
Can I tell you, Clean Ocean Action is April 17th
Okay.
and October 23rd.
When's, I hate to ask it, when's Easter again? Easter's Sunday is the 4th, right? I mean, could we do it on the 3rd of April? Would that be okay? What do you think?
Hey,
What's that?
that would be good with me.
I think people are looking for things to do. I think it's a great idea.
Okay, let's do April 3rd. I'll coordinate it with some folks and maybe I can get some of the new folks. Maybe Ed will help out with that. And so obviously the clean Deal Lake Watershed Alliance is definitely a big help on that. So we'll put that in, and Jesse, we can market that and advertise that. I don't think we need, do we need, I guess we need to authorize some funds for
Yeah, how much do you want to spend on advertising?
500 usually is the magic number, I think,
Yeah.
right?
And do
Not to
you,
exceed 500. So I make a motion to,
wait, do you need supplies too?
Isn't that included in the 500 normally?
I guess maybe it gets $700, $200 in supplies and 500 for advertising.
500 for supplies and how much for advertising? How much for supplies?
200, that's all.
Okay.
That's all.
Not to exceed. Okay. Someone please offer.
I'll offer. I'll second.
So we're authorizing me to advertise the Deal Lake cleanup April 3rd in an amount not to exceed 500, and for the commission chair to get supplies in an amount not to exceed 200. Allenhurst,
Yes.
Asbury Park. Jeannie?
Jeannie,
Jeannie,
wake
Yes,
up.
Yes.
yes, am I-
Asbury Park.
yes,
Interlaken,
Yes.
Lock Arbor,
Yes.
Neptune,
Yes.
Ocean.
yes,
Okay.
okay. Deal Lake website response to public questions. We're going to talk about this next month. We get emails in, our emails from the public. We had one today. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But I want to coordinate that. I want to try to get all you guys on the email list so you all see the questions that come in from your community. So
Good.
and then I'll funnel them out as needed. But some of them, one dealt with Interlaken today. So we'll have an interesting topic on that in a second.
That'll be good.
Okay. Established rules for conduct. Jesse, you want to talk about that? Make the motion, please. Or?
You were, did everybody receive the resolution, the draft resolution limiting public comments to
Yeah.
3 minutes a
I
person?
did. Yeah.
What does everybody think about that?
I understand having a limit, especially municipalities where you have a lot of people lined up trying to speak. But when we're meeting and physically meeting in a place, you see people waiting to get to a microphone, and it's necessary because other people won't get to speak if you didn't limit the time. But in our case, I feel that we don't often have, we maybe have like 4 people tops at our meetings to speak. And I just feel that we don't need to do that. That's my impression. Also, that it's the only time anybody gets to ask questions and to make responses. And if somebody does something like there's a bad actor, like, the guy that came last month that was rude and disrespectful, that's not allowed anywhere. So we could just say, no, you can't be rude. That's not allowed.
How about make it 5 minutes then?
Yeah, 3 minutes is short.
Okay.
Yeah, make it 5 minutes, and that. I mean, if somebody can't say what they got to say in 5 minutes, they shouldn't be talking anyway.
I'll agree with that.
I'll agree with that.
All right, Jesse.
Okay, someone.
So wait, whoa. Just to be clear, we have a motion
Right,
on the floor to apply this limit to public speech, to the public right to talk to 5 minutes.
yes.
Who's making the motion?
No, there's a resolution on the table.
I know. So somebody's got to move it.
I'm making the
Somebody's gotta
motion.
move it.
I'm making the motion.
Can we modify it?
Yeah, we are to 5 minutes.
5
minutes.
So we don't need to.
All right. So then we got a second. Bruce, you're seconding?
Yes,
Okay. So there's a motion on the floor at 5 minutes. That's where we are.
right.
Now continue to your discussion.
Can I clarify something?
Sure.
I mean, I've been on the township committee in Neptune. We had the same thing, 5 minutes. So you get to make your statement for 5 minutes, but that doesn't entitle you to extra 5 minutes for conversation back and forth. So, what exactly is the 5 minutes?
Question.
5 minutes is for the person to make their statement, and then you can have all the discussion you want. I would guess. I don't know if we shouldn't be censoring people, but
No. That's right. And it's 5 minutes for the statement, and it's question. If we ask questions of the person, that we open it up for more discussion, obviously, right?
Well, if a person starts off by asking a question and then they get an answer and it takes 2 minutes.
Don, look what you did.
And then they have another question. I mean, do you stop when they're not speaking and say, okay, they're not speaking now?
I think we all kind of know. We'll have to start the clock. Maybe Jesse will start the clock, or I'll start the clock, and we'll get. It's not going to be exactly 5 minutes, and we're not going to cut them off if there's something good being said. I'm not going to do that as chair, and I think the chair is going to be the one whoever's running the meeting would be making the call. So if it's going well, I think we're going to let it flow. I mean, that's
always got to be within. It's always got to be within the discretion of the chair, or whoever happens to be running the meeting. You know what? Maybe we should recirculate the resolution and take a look at it, and have input on it. I mean, this is. Who knows how long we're going to be zooming it? I mean, it could be another year. We really should take a look at it. I didn't even see it, to be frank with you. So maybe we should recirculate it and talk about it next.
We can modify it, and then we'll set it out. We'll talk about it next meeting. We don't need a motion.
It could be a conversation for a workshop.
Sure.
Right.
In following up with what Eric said, having run meetings as a mayor, it's a balancing act, because you have to balance the right of the public to be heard with the right of the board to continue with conducting business and get through their business without too much drag on it. It's a balancing act, clearly. But the bottom line is, if you get to the worst case where you're not answering any questions, you're not going to do any of that, the person still has a right to speak.
Right.
So that's where you're going to draw your line. They're going to have a right to speak, and then you're going to say, okay, time is up.
I guess.
Again,
So we're going to table this for the next meeting.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it the workshop session we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes. We don't need to vote on it, do we?
We're doing it now anyway. I mean, we never had that. We never really had it as a problem. So I don't know why.
Well, I think we did have it as a problem. That's why we're bringing it up now. Okay.
Well, you need a motion to table it at this point.
I make a motion to table the discussion.
I'll second.
Hunt, are you sitting in your bathroom?
No, it's actually a room with a shower and sink in the room itself.
That's called a bathroom.
Well,
There you
yeah,
go.
but it's really big.
All right, let's go. Let's keep rolling here, Jesse.
It has good acoustics.
Call them.
Alan first.
Go ahead,
Bill, you
Jesse.
play your guitar? Good
Asbury
acoustics in there?
Yeah, I haven't Paul McCartney.
Asbury
Correct.
Park, Jeannie.
Yes.
Okay. Angela,
Alan Hurst goes first. Yes.
I said, I thought you said yes.
I never said anything. I keep my mouth shut.
Alan Hurst,
Yes.
and Jeannie said yes. Angela Lakin,
Yes.
Clark Garber,
Yes.
Neptune,
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Protection of personal information for the commissioners. So, we've been asking, I think Jesse's going to be coming out soon, unless she's already done it, asking for emails. And, obviously we all know each other's email, but personal phone numbers and addresses, just for her sake, for special, I think she has most of them anyway for things you have to sign. So I don't want that. I don't think we should distribute that. I don't know if we need a vote on that, but I believe that personal information should be kept. If you guys want to share each other's phone number and address, go ahead. That's okay with you, amongst yourselves. But I don't think the commission should be releasing that information to the public or to
No,
the
but
commission.
that was never the idea. The
No, I
idea
just want that. Do we need to vote on that, Hunt, or?
Wait, I want to say something about that. Initially, we were using that information so we could get it into the email server.
Yeah.
We had requested everybody send that information. So, because not everybody is in. The other thing is, not everybody's email address identifies who they are. Even mine, for example, mine's Spirit J, and nobody would know that that's me unless you know my address. That's why
Well, we can ask each commissioner to sign up for the website. We can do a separate email on that, and we can make sure they do.
We've done that.
Yeah.
And also, phone numbers are useful because when we're working on something, it's useful to be able to call each other to ask questions if there's something. So I not to circulate it to the public, but I don't know how everybody else feels, but I'm comfortable with having everybody on the commission have my phone number, and my address is easy enough to get anywhere.
I don't see a problem with that at all, but public, no.
Yeah,
No,
that's my concern. That's my concern.
Public. So could we do that? Could we get a list with
Well,
names?
people can, if they want to give it to you, they can send it to you. I mean, that's okay.
Well, we won't have one list though, Don.
I really wanted to keep that list. I thought it should be safeguarded. That's my personal opinion.
What does everybody else think? I mean, we all have your number, Don.
That's
Yeah,
sure.
So great for you. But does anybody object to giving their phone number and address?
Well, it's the idea of centralizing it at the clerk's office and the clerk issuing that list of numbers.
Oh, yeah, we got Brocco's number.
Here we go.
Hey, Ken, shut that down, please. All right.
All right, so can we do that at least? Have it as centralized? Also, it would have been nice,
Well-
and we haven't mentioned this, but if I hope it's okay that I say this, Margot lost her brother a few days ago, which I'm very sorry about, Margot, and I think the commission wants to know that, but I would like to send her something, and I don't have her address. So that's another reason, and that's happened in the past, but Margot, I'm very sorry.
That's very sweet of you, Jeannie. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So sorry, Margot. And on that note, I don't know if you know it, Jeannie lost her mom the other day.
Yeah.
And our hearts go out to you, Jeannie.
Yes.
It's tough losing a parent for sure.
So it's a good reason to have an address. I forget who else recently lost.
Look, we all have each other's email. So if we want to email each other's address, that's no problem. My problem is having the commission issuing those addresses and phone numbers and all that. That's my problem.
To each
So
other.
as chairman, I'd rather not release that. Right now, that's my decision. But you guys can easily email everybody and give that out. That's fine.
All right. I'm fine with that.
Moving on.
All right.
Workshop plan. Next month, we're going to have a workshop. We're going to be talking about various different things. One's going to be the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance, how we're going to be able to team up with them. I already talked to Laura about that. And Jeannie, what other topic would you like to work on?
Well, we did say at our last meeting that we were going to discuss more about what I talked about last week.
You mean Don's dictatorial conduct?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Dictatorial. No, about workshops that we could have for goals. Some of our goals that are on our list.
I can't.
Okay.
So we-
Well, we'll work that out, Jeannie. We'll work that out. You and I discussed the write-up we were going to send out to everybody. So can you do that and send it to me, and then we'll send it out to everybody.
And that,
So,
And a new item.
wait,
Actually, before we get to the new item,
we have to vote on what time, and I'll advertise it. And
Oh,
it's 6 o'clock.
the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance meeting, is that what you're talking about?
It'll be part of it's going to be our meeting. It's going to be 15 minutes talking about what we're going to be talking about, and 45 minutes, for that 40 minutes for the Watershed Alliance. So we're going to have 15 minutes allotted for us.
And what are we talking about for those 15 minutes?
Excuse me?
What are we talking about for those 15 minutes?
That's what you just talked about.
Oh, okay, that,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
the resolution.
That's right.
someone please offer that we'll have a workshop meeting. I'll advertise it next month on the March meeting starting at 6 p.m.
So moved.
I'll offer.
Second,
Eric's got it.
okay. Alan Hurst,
Yes, from Florida.
Asbury Park,
Yes,
Interlaken,
Yes.
Loch Arbor,
Yes.
Neptune,
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Okay, Don.
Okay, we had a message from an email today from Andrea and from Interlaken.
Hi,
And-
Dawn. I'm here.
Oh, she's there.
I'm in as Jack. I'm sorry.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Good.
So-
How are you, sir?
Believe it or not, you were right across the street from Dr. Perry's house, and Hunt Perry grew up there. So
Oh, wow.
you might
Okay,
even
yeah.
know Hunt. Right? He's the bald-headed guy with the glasses in the bathroom.
Yeah, I think he offered to do a surgery when I first moved in.
There you go. Oh, Doc. Yeah,
He was joking.
yeah. So, but anyway, Andrea has the house at the corner, and she has Deal Lake as her backyard. It's actually more of a swamp than a lake, as I
Yeah,
recall.
it's all mud.
Where's it located?
634 Windermere.
Windermere.
Corner
Is
of
that-
Grassmere and Windermere, as almost the western corner of the lake.
Okay.
On the
I
way
know
to Nick's.
it's-
Yeah. On the way to Nick's.
Stop giving
That's
out
nice.
personal information. You got the
That's
public list.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful street right there. Beautiful.
So what Andrea asked was about dredging and whether if she could dredge, or I think I got that right, or Deal Lake Commission dredge.
Yes, the previous owner told me that a couple of years ago, somebody had came out and they had discussed dredging, but then the owner, Joe, had passed away, so nothing ever came of it.
Did Joe will us any money? Because that's what we're looking for.
An approval.
And approval. But
There's a clause in sight.
it is a pressing issue with everyone on the lake. Everybody would like the lake deeper. But we can explore that a little bit more with you. It's a lot of work, a lot of effort, and a lot of money. I don't think the Deal Lake Commission would be trying to fund that, but we could surely help you along the way if you wanted to try to do that little section. But it's a lot of work. Steve, where's Steve? Steve, you want to go over some of those little things that we have to deal with?
I don't think we have enough time in the meeting to do
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I'm not
you know,
being
we could do that
facetious, but-
offline, but matter of fact, I might come over and see you and talk to you a little bit about it. But it's a lot of work and a lot
Let me
of
just
money.
make the point. It's highly regulated by the state, and there's a lot that needs to be assessed before any kind of sediment removal process can be initiated. So, Don, you can go take a look at it, but we don't have any regulatory authority,
I know.
and that is something that is highly regulated by the state. And not only in terms of the removal of the sediment, but the testing of the sediment for toxins and other types of chemicals.
Yeah. The other piece was the 50-foot buffer between the lake and your house. The state controls those trees and bushes. So do anything in your backyard, you got to be really cautious because the state can come down big time on you. So we can help you with that too. We're actually working with the state on some of those guidance issues. But if you're doing any backyard work 50 feet from the lake, it's definitely a subject they need to talk to you about. So
permit.
But thanks for the email. It was really good and great to meet you.
Okay, thank you. Great to meet you too.
Are we still on new business?
No, I'm gonna start something, and you'll have the opportunity to talk. We're gonna start something new. It's gonna be called the Commissioner's Last Word. I guess I'll start off, and it's gonna be less than a minute. It was a tough month for me. You guys got my email. I want to move on, and we're moving on. So that's it for me. Margot, you have anything to say?
I wanted to get in that I think the balloon ban is one of the best ideas, and my beach sweep, and also we are working on those things that the litter blowing from our recyclables.
Oh.
That's my pet projects, actually. So, and we do have a big problem with people putting their recyclables out too early, say they're on Sunday for Wednesday, and we're working on it. And we also want people to have lids.
Thank you brought that up, because what I got here is the big foam piece from Interlaken.
Oh, Don, you had to bring that.
I carried it home. I had to bring it home. So we're working with Interlaken. I mean, it's a problem. You know, this.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was recyclable too. I had to look it up. So.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yep, education.
No.
All right, next, Bruce, anything you got?
No, I got nothing to say.
Anything with geese? No geese?
Oh, the geese. Yeah, I did send a letter to Alan Hirsch requesting that they put on their agenda something along the lines of the geese with the geese addling.
Okay.
And I sent over the proposal. I think it was the Ocean Township proposal. I sent over some literature, and I spoke with with Ms. Campagna. She's the administrator. She indicated to me that she was going to speak to the commissioner and the mayor about getting it on the agenda. For some reason, there's some sort of reluctance. I will have to speak to someone about that. I was supposed to talk to her last week, but my son got married, so I got preoccupied.
Oh, congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
going
you.
around, main commissioners, Eric Hotelling.
No, I have none, but I'm terribly interested in about the Coca-Cola plant project over there, and anybody's got concerns about it. I'm very interested.
Okay, thanks. Jeannie.
I guess I wanted to let everybody know that Don and I have spoken since the last meeting. I first want to say that I know that my intention was never to disparage anybody, him in particular, or to, there is nothing to say, and that was not my intention. I said what I said. That's why I wanted the text to be included in the minutes, so that people could read what I said rather than interpret something else. And so we have spoken since then. And as Don said, we both want to move forward, and we've talked about things that we both feel we can do differently and to accommodate each other. And I think that it'll be better this year.
Okay. Carol.
Well, I want to thank Jeannie for that. I think that's really great. New year, new direction, all good things, right? So my goals for the coming year are to, just as Margot said, work on the recycling issues and the stuff that doesn't quite make it into the truck on recycling day, and working with the municipality to get a better system for that. For working with the municipality on just providing proper information for homeowners doing construction or renovation, or building along waterfront properties on the lake, and working with the town to get the remaining open storm drains closed.
Okay, thanks.
Don, I just had one thing. I just want everyone, if any of the other towns don't do the egg addling, because these geese are a nightmare. I did do a letter, and if you want to use that letter as a template to your municipalities, I'd be more than happy to share it.
Thanks, Bruce.
Send that out, Bruce, as an email to us, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, now I think it's ready for the public. We got to get rolling, guys.
Okay. A motion to open. the
1 second.
meeting-
One second. We'll get you. We'll get you. We'll get you. 1 second. Go ahead, Jess.
Me. A motion to open the meeting to the public.
Offered.
Second.
Second.
Okay.
Okay. Public. Marty.
Marty Martino, 1600 Bryant Avenue, Ocean, New Jersey. I have a couple different subjects I want to talk about, and I promise I will not go over 5 minutes on each one. Number one is weed control. I have an echo on my end. Hopefully you don't get it on yours.
No, we're getting it, Marty. We're good feedback.
Are you still getting an echo?
Yeah.
Hold on. I have you on my phone too.
Yeah, I think it's
You
your
have
phone.
two devices going, Marty,
Yeah.
that's
I
why.
know.
So then unmute yourself. Marty, unmute yourself. You're muted.
Can't hear you, Marty.
How about now?
Okay, that's good.
Much better.
Okay, I have a couple different subjects I'd like to bring up, and I won't be over 5 minutes on each one, which I hopefully that's the way you'll address it per subject. But number one is on weed control. At the last meeting, I had requested that my section of the lake from Asbury Park Bridge on Deal Lake to Wickapecco Drive be included in your weed control program. And I did not hear any of that being discussed tonight. I'd like to know if any action was taken on my request.
No, we didn't do it, Marty. It was the professionals said it wasn't necessary. Last year we did it, and we had some major problems with the lily pads. We lost a lot of lily pads, and the weeds weren't that bad, and so we decided not to do it this year, based on our.
I understand. I'd just like to kind of put you all on notice, because about a few years back, this whole section of the lake over here was overgrown with weeds. And I had contacted the coaster, and I had a big rigmarole with the DLA Commission, and I intend to do that again if it becomes a problem this year.
You got
That's
my
number
number.
one.
You got my number, Marty.
Okay,
Well,
just
Marty,
so
we did confer with Solitude. They had inspected that section of the lake last year, and their report back to us was that it did not need to be treated. If you start to see weed issues, popping up, contact me. I'll come out. I'll take a look at it, and we can see if how severe a problem it is, and decide if there's action that needs to be taken. But we did confer with the professional applicator last year, and their report back to us, and they want to make money. They'll treat it if it needs to be treated. Was that it did not need to be treated.
okay, well, we'll see how good your experts are this summer. That's it on the weed treatment. Number one, on your subject before about emails. From my viewpoint, as a resident of Ocean Township, the commissioners representing Ocean Township is appointed by the mayor, and each of you commissioners are funded by the taxpayers in your respective district. And I think it's incumbent upon each of you to have your email address available to the residents of your community in the event they would have a question they'd like to ask you about the Deal Lake. I don't think everything should go directly through the chairman, because each of you represent your respective towns.
Marty, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because we are going to have the contact section of the website. You will be able to contact, I hope, all the members of the commission, but you won't see their emails, but they'll be able to contact you back. That's how we're going to.
Kind of FYI, on occasion, I have, as you know, Don, I have been to several Ocean Township Council meetings, and I have sent notices or letters and requests to each of the council people on the Ocean Township council. And the way I was able to do that was because they had their email addresses available to me.
Correct. Correct.
So
But
I
they
would
have
like to make-
township, Marty, excuse me, they have township email addresses, not our personal email address. So that's,
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. If any commissioner has a problem with having their own email address available to the public, that's one thing. But if they would like to be truly representative of the people they represent, they should try to figure something else out. That's my comment on email. Number 3 is nobility crest. Okay. I spoke last meeting about nobility crest and how Colonial Terrace section of Deal Lake was dredged and excavated by the Seaview Square Mall, by a lawsuit that was brought by the against Seaview Square Mall, and the end result was they dredged that property. You said that you were working on a letter that you were going to send out, and I had asked if you would make that letter public. And I guess my question to you, Don, is can you share with us what is in that letter?
I did with the commissioners. I'm not sure if I can to the public yet. Hunt, what's the deal with that?
It's up to the commissioners whether or not they want to release it. I mean, it's going to be public record, but
I mean, I have no problem releasing it. So, I want them to accept it first, Marty, on the, I'm waiting for the return from the mail. And as soon as we get that, we can post it.
Can you
Okay.
share with us what is in the letter?
Yeah, we basically said, please, let's get this right. Let's negotiate and make this right. What your damage you've been done. That's been done. That's the essence of it.
Okay.
There's a lot of legalese that we had in the beginning.
I understand. The lawyer worked on it for, a couple of meetings, but will you make a copy of that available to each commissioner?
As soon as they accept the letter and we get the return receipt, we can post it. Okay.
You, from your viewpoint, I realize it's a commission move, but should they not respond in a positive kind of way? Do you think it's incumbent upon the Deal Lake Commission to institute a lawsuit similar to what was done with Seaview Square Mall?
I can't tell you that right now, Marty.
Okay. I just bring up that subject. Final subject. At your workshop meeting back, I guess it was in November, you had 27 projects underway. And I was very happy to hear one of your commissioners say what her goal was for this year. But I guess my request to each of the commissioners to look at those 27 projects and say among yourselves, say which one of these things would I like to work on? Maybe 2 or 3 is work on any one of those projects. And of course, the chair, Don is chairman, he will be member of each one of the committees, but perhaps there'll be a little assistance for Don to achieve some of the objectives of each one of those projects. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Marty. Anybody else?
Under 5 minutes, Don.
No, Marty, we're running late, Marty. That's it. Sorry. Melanie, go ahead.
Hi. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. 2 things. First one was when Bruce was talking about the geese, because I had spoken to the geese people, and she had given me the information, a woman by the name of Nicole. She had given me the information that Ocean Township and Deal had both paid last year to have it done.
Interlaken did as well. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Anyway, she said Ocean Township and Deal had paid, that they did it once weekly. I think between March and May, the homeowners had to sign a form to allow people on the property. She said they only do shoreline property. Said the cost depends on it can be a flat fee somewhere between $1,500 and $3,000. The fee depends on the size and the travel time. She was very helpful, very nice, full of information. I didn't know that Bruce was also, working on this. So I do think that something that Jeannie actually suggested at the last meeting, and Marty Martino just suggested again, that if we can form some kind of small committees or something to work on the things, you know what I mean? That are of interest to certain members. Like I know Margot's interested in this. I'm interested in it. Now I'm just finding out that Bruce is interested in it. So maybe somehow if we can have these smaller committees to then turn into information when we have a meeting, it might move things along and then we won't be doing duplicate stuff and we can help each other out by providing information. You know, Bruce can tell me what he's finding out. I can tell him what I'm finding out. So if any of that makes sense to anybody, that's maybe something that we could think about doing.
Okay, thanks a lot. We'll that's great. And Bruce will help you out with that.
That's something we can workshop.
Yeah.
But you know, I was just trying to get this on the agenda for my town. It's something we all have to try to get done because, I mean, that goose feces is such a nuisance, and the geese themselves are such a nuisance.
And also about the material you put on the grass too. It does work, and we'll talk about that next month. But that does work, and hopefully the residents can. Some residents already use it in Colonial Terrace and very successfully. Anyone else?
Melanie, it was $1,500 for Ocean Township to treat. It didn't sound like a lot of money.
No, she said it varied between 1,500 to 3,000. She didn't say how much for each one. It depended on the size of the property they're treating and how many times they have to come out and their travel time, you know, from where they come from. But also, she did say that you still can train people, citizens, to do it, and at no cost, basically.
Right.
And Jeannie, Asbury Park doesn't. I don't think they pay for it on the Deal Lake area. I know they do it throughout Asbury, but she does, you know, paddle along the lake. So they may want to hire her to do that one section from the high school all the way back. That's a large section.
What Bruce said, I agree with, but you know, I've said this before. I think it's a workshop kind of thing. We get together, and those who are interested at that, you know, we call a workshop and we work on geese remediation.
Okay. Any more public comments?
Don?
Yes, Bruce.
Brian Mullins, 107 Boulevard.
Attaboy, Don.
Well, your Bruce is right next to you on my screen.
We got
Hello, I'm waiting.
We're waiting.
You're waiting. I'm waiting.
Brian, go ahead.
All right, I have a couple questions regarding the weed treatment. I guess for Dr. Souza. It seems like was it not specific enough for them to write up their proposals for the weed treatment? Because it seems like they proposed two different types of treatments, one with two treatments, one with one. The differences between how strong of the chemical they're using to kill the weeds. So I think it is very confusing when you were talking about the weed treatments and discussing how you're going to come about with who to choose, because one's twice the price. But I mean, last year you spent, Don, you said you spent $3,468 on the single weed treatment.
That one section.
Nothing. Right?
On the one section, correct.
Right. But it didn't work.
It
did not work well.
Didn't work.
We also did it late. We also did it late in the season too.
So, I mean, I guess to me, I would be putting out calls to be more specific to meet your needs. And because at 13,000 is 6,500 per treatment if they're doing two treatments, and one's only doing one treatment at $5,000. I don't know.
Right. I mean, you're absolutely right, Brian. I think that, you know, the sort of like the fine line that we have to walk is that, you know, if you get too specific and you tell them you shall use this, this, and this, and then they do it and it doesn't work, then they say, well, you told us to do it, and you know, and that's it. We have no control. And plus, you know, the license goes with, I mean, the permit is with the applicator. It's not with the Deal Lake Commission. So when they apply for the, you know, for the permit, they're supposed to be showing DEP what product they're using, what the concentrations are. So we do have some means by which to go back and look at that. So last year, did the treatment work out as well as we wanted to? No, but we did have problems at that time of year with some flows. There were some issues with turbidity. It's always a problem with Colonial Terrace. It's not as much of a problem with your section of the lake, but with Colonial Terrace, it is a real big issue. Plus, you have the golf course that's vying for some of that water. So there's, issues associated with meeting the irrigation restrictions. But I'll try. I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it to find out, specifically before they file for a permit, what their dose rate is, and then we can have more of an apples to apples sort of comparison between the two proposals.
I hope that helps you, Brian. We got to move on. So,
well, I have more though. I think about 5 minutes. So I'll jump to what's more important is the Coca-Cola Distributorship. So for Eric, if you didn't know there were problems there, I've been reporting them to the Deal Lake Commission for 20 years. Every time it rains, there's a flood of mud that takes over the lake and then settles. It was dredged in 98, Peter, and it's already filling back in. 20 years, but it's filling back in. And that most of Hollow Brook goes through wooded sections until it pops out underneath Route 35 and behind the shore lanes. Mm-hmm. And the state did something about 15 years ago, digging out and putting their kind of retention area to the west side of Route 35. And none of it does anything to stop floatables from getting the lake. I've sent Don picture after picture of hundreds of Coke bottles, cups, and crap floating on the lake after every rainstorm. And the cloud of dirt that comes in it and fills it. So there's a huge problem with Hollow Brook from the flow that comes really from shore lanes, Route 35, and behind the Coca-Cola Distributorship. So I'm concerned about it because it seems like they're trying to take up every square inch of that site with blacktop and building.
Yep. And that's one reason. Yeah, the Deal Lake, the residents of the Colonial Terrace, the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance, and citizens have to go to these meetings in Neptune, and we'll hopefully be able to advertise the dates of those meetings so people can attend. And I think that's real important and get the information out there.
Let me just throw that out. You mentioned behind the bowling alley, that neighborhood back Rockwell Estates literally has water percolating out of the ground. I think they filled in part of the Deal Lake to create that neighborhood quite a few years ago. There's a real water problem on that side of the highway.
I got you. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
And Don, anything about the lasers to get rid of the geese?
It's funny you should say. We're going to talk about that next month. So, but yeah, we did look into that.
Just one clarification, Steve. Brian said it did not work. The weed treatment, but
Jeannie, I hate to say, we got to move on. We're real late, and we're going to talk about it next month. Okay, we can email each other on that. No, but I really got to move on.
Public as well. I just think it's not something we want to put out there that the treatment did not work, because I don't think that's inaccurate.
It did not work to the level of our expectations. There was a decrease. There was a substantial decrease in weed densities back there compared to when it's not treated, but it did not clear out, all of the invasives. And some of it had to do with timing.
I'm speaking as a member of the public because
hold on one second. You're not called upon.
It didn't work.
Okay. Well, it hadn't been treated in so many years. We all understood that it was going to need more treatments than one treatment, right?
Jeannie,
that's all. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying I think it's good.
Jeannie, I think you're right. It did work downstream where you lived. It didn't work on the upper section.
Well, Steve just gave his. He just said that, and I would go with what he said, that it didn't work as well as we'd like, but we got started late.
It killed a lot of lily pads, I can tell you that. All right. Who else? Anybody else? It's 350. Go ahead. Hand up.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Ernest McNolly, 400 Deal Lake Drive, apartment 5D, the Santander, Asbury Park. I've lived there since August of 2007. I have direct panoramic views of the lakes and the ocean in Asbury Park, and I'm a witness. And I'd like to start off by saying, and I don't want any comments, and this is not personal, and I'd like not to be interrupted, especially by Mr. Brockle, because it's not personal. You know, I'm calling in as an injured citizen resident for 15 years, and all I have to listen to is, we'll talk about it next week, or be quiet, or mute him. So don't do that. I have 5 minutes. That's what we established. Let's follow Robert's rules. I'm sure the people from Neptune know about Robert's rules. Isn't that correct? Don't answer.
We haven't
That's what's supposed to be. Excuse me.
Tonight.
Excuse me?
I said we haven't established anything about speaking time.
Oh, no. What are you talking about? I'm listening to you for an hour and 39 minutes, and you were going on about 5 minutes, and we don't want the public to know where we live. Listen to me. Nobody wants your personal information. Why don't you do what's professional and set up Deal Lake Commission email addresses? Instead of, we don't want to email to honeydewmelons@gmail.com. You know, give us professionalism. The site's messed up. Mr. Brockle blocks people who he doesn't want comments from. Like me. When I go to Deal Lake on Facebook page, right? I can't comment. I'll tell you why. Because when Santander, which is right in the middle of polluting the heck out of Deal Lake, and I call out to him for help, he knows that involves Mayor Moore from Asbury and that Remiss Asbury Together, right? That whole group and city managers who have single-handedly over 15 years destroyed the lakes in Asbury and in Neptune and everywhere else with cockamamie development. I mean, let's call it what it is. Deal Lake is not a lake. It's a puddle now. It's a filled-in toxic dump. It's becoming a rain garden, right? You could walk on it if you wanted to. You could walk on it. How do you call that a lake? And who would want to touch, eat, or swim in that toxic cesspool? You keep making excuses over and over. Oh, it's not our fault, you know? It's Coke's fault. Neptune's fault. It's Zeus's fault. No, it's your fault. This cockamamie commission, Deal Lake, Sunset Lake, Wesley Lake, Takanasi Lake. You all don't know nothing about lakes. Give it up. Resign. Give it to somebody else. All your professionals sound remiss. You don't know what you're talking about. Weeds, no weeds. Mud, no mud. You know, money, no money. You know, you have any idea how you sound? It's a disgrace. And the only good comment I heard is one of the guys said, oh, let's take out all the dictatorial comments by Jeannie or whatever her name is. I'll tell you what I did. I took last month's meeting, I recorded it, and then I took your recording and recorded it, and I sent it to the state and federal government to let them know just what you're running there. A cockamamie, cover-up, sham show by unprofessionals. Give up the water quality test results once and for all. That's where the sham is. And a Boy Scout could figure out what's wrong with Deal Lake, Wesley Lake, and Ocean Lake. A Boy Scout, a smart porpoise can figure it out. But no, we got to listen to these lawyers and Asbury Park architects and Asbury Together pontificate about BS. It's all BS. They're causatively destroying anything natural on the land of Asbury Park, Neptune, Interlaken, Deal, Lock Harbor, Long Branch. I could go on. Ocean. It's causative. You're letting these law firms like Ansel Grimarin destroy Monmouth County and make millions doing it. Look what they did with Pier Village. Look what they're doing in Asbury with that Ocean Club for Godzilla Billionaires building. What's going to be the impact of that? with Ice Star and Blue Star and Red Star and Green Star and Green Parrot. Who cares? Remember Green Parrot with that criminal judge from Asbury, Yacarino, with all the drug addict children?
Thank you for your comments.
5
Thank you
minutes
very
up.
much. Do I hear a motion to end the meeting?
Move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay. Have a great night.
You as well.